Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Red Wizard here, and today we're going to be taking a look at building an army list. So, about a week or two ago, Tom from Warhammer Weekly gave me a shout out for a list that him and I had been discussing, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to test out my recording setup. I'm hoping to start making some videos in the new year. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, but I want to put some content out there, so let's cross our fingers that this doesn't go terribly wrong. Also, there's a large pit bull in the room with me, so if you hear any grunting or sighing or slobbering, that will be my companion here. Hopefully she can behave herself though, so we'll cross our fingers on that too. So how I usually like to start most of my list is with a battalion. I know a lot of people don't run battalions, but I like to find one and kind of try to build around that. I think it just makes it easier to get going, and kind of gives your army a theme, which I really like. So for today's list, we're going to be Grand Alliance Chaos, which if you're watching one of my videos is going to be 90% of the time probably. I'm a big Chaos fan. And we're going to be we're going to use Chaos Allegiance ability also. So let's go ahead and get our battalion. So we're going to open this, and you ready for this? We're going to go to Everchosen, and we're going to use an Everchosen battalion. Alright, so a lot of people stopped using the Everchosen battalions once the changes came through where you can't use the allegiance ability of the god that's associated with those battalions, but I really think that especially for Fatesworn and Plague Touched, they have enough benefits on their own without those allegiance abilities to still be used. So we're going to take a look at a Fatesworn battalion today. And what we need for our Fatesworn warband is 9 mortal units of Tzeentch, so 9 mortal Tzeentch units and 1 mortal Tzeentch hero. And what we're going to get from this battalion is essentially a 6-up save. So any unit from this battalion that is set up in a multiple of 9 at the beginning of the battle is going to get a 6-up save anytime it suffers a wound or mortal wound. So basically I think the exact wording is each time a unit from this battalion suffers a wound or mortal wound, roll a dice on a 6-up, that wound is ignored. So that is going to be very important for us later on as we put some layers on top of our list here. So the other thing that this battalion gives us is any weapon that a unit from this battalion has that has a dash for rend is going to be -1 rend instead. So that is great, and the way it's worded, we're going to get that rend on shooting weapons, melee weapons, mounts, any attack on the war scroll that is a dash is going to be a -1. So it doesn't stack with other rend, so if it is anything other than a dash, you don't add to it. It's just things that are dash become -1. So what we're going to try to do is look for units where we can capitalize on that, alright? So now that we've got our battalion, we're going to fill out our battle line requirements here. So we're not going to be in Everchosen anymore. We want Tzeentch Arcanites. So we're going to go over here and we're going to add Carrick Acolytes. That's how I pronounce it. It might be pronounced differently, but that's what we're going to go with tonight. So these guys are undercosted right now, I think at 80 points. And we are going to take advantage of that, hopefully. Sorry, it's really late at night. There's been like 7 trains. I'm in Texas. Stereotype is true. There's trains like every 10 minutes. So I've been stopping and starting. Hopefully it's not destroying the video too bad. But here we are. So we got our acolytes. And because of our rend from the warband, we are going to give all of them a single cursed blade and shield. Okay, and we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to pay for 20. We're actually going to take 18, so we'll be in a multiple of 9. Oh, whoops. We don't want to do that. Alright. So we want to take all 18 of our guys are going to have the Curse Blade and the Arcanite Shield. So what the shield does for us is gives us another 6-up save against wounds and mortal wounds. So we've got the 6-up save that they have on their War Scroll. Now we have another 6-up save from our shield, and we have another 6-up save from our Fatesworn Warband. So we've got 18 guys with their save, the shield save, and the Warband save. They're gonna their Sorceress Bolt that's on their War Scroll is now gonna have a -1 rend. So we got 18 shots at 18 inches with all the bonuses they get. A -1 rend, and all of their melee attacks are also going to have the -1 rend. So we got 18 shots and 18 attacks, all at -1 rend. No, actually 19 shots, because I think the leader, their champion, gets an extra bolt. So we're going to have one unit there of 18, and then we're going to go ahead and add a second unit of 18, and we're going to do the same thing. Alright, and then we're going to have one nice large unit of 36. Alright, so these guys for 80 points, not too shabby. So now we've got our battle line, but we want to do something else to give these guys just a little bit more protection. So we're going to go back up to top here. We're going to go to Slaves of Darkness. We're going to add, oh no, we're not going to do that. I guess we're under units, okay. So we're going to add, everybody got excited about the mammoth. They're like, oh my god, a mammoth sighting. Sorry, no. Alright, so War Shrine. Marcus Zinch. So what the War Shrine is going to give us is protection from the Dark Gods ability. So any unit within 9 inches is going to get another 6-up save. So we've got our 6-up save, we've got our shield save, we've got our Fatesworn save, now we've got protection of the Dark Gods save. So we're stacking the saves up on our acolytes here, and usually we're going to run this War Shrine close to our 36 block, right? Also, the War Shrine they have the prayer that you can select a Tzeentch Mortal unit to reroll all saves. So we're going to be rerolling our 6 here, right? Then we're going to have our shield, blah, 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 right? We already went through several times, so we got a bunch of saves on these guys. So we're looking pretty good here, right? So one thing about the acolytes is they get a +1 to hit on their bolt if they have a sorcerer within 9 inches. So on the War Scroll, the bolt is actually a 5-up, 4-up, so 5 to hit, 4 to wound, but we want to make that a 4-up all the time, so we need some leaders, right? So we're going to go back to our Arcanauts here, and with the current meta, there's a lot of spells slinging around, right, with all the death stuff. So we want to try to do something to help us out with that. So we're going to take a Curseling. Curselings are A, an awesome model, but B, pretty good for anti-magic. So we can unbind 2 spells and cast 2 spells. And we have a spell on our War Scroll that is basically a way to steal a spell from an enemy wizard. So he can, if he unbinds a spell, he can immediately cast whatever spell he unbound, and it cannot be unbound itself. So he unbinds an Arcane Bolt, which he probably wouldn't do, but if he does, he can cast it, and you can't unbind it. Then his War Scroll ability, or spell, I'm sorry, is a Glean Magic. So I think it's a 3-up. Cast on a 3-up, he can steal an enemy wizard spell within 24 inches. He knows that spell for the rest of the battle. So hey, Curse of Years, I like the way, I like the cut of your jib. I'm gonna take it with Curseling. I don't know if you can tell, it's getting pretty late here. So anyway, so we're gonna get our Cursling. We're gonna run him kind of with one of our 18 man units, right? And we like the Cursling so much, so we're actually gonna add a second one. So if you really want to go anti-magic, you can run two. There's just some other options I'll talk about at the end of the video if you don't want to run the second Cursling, but I like to run two of these guys. Okay, so we got our two. So where are we at? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 of our 10. So we've got kind of our defensive structure set up here with all of our acolytes. I mean, they can do some work with the shooting, but mostly they're going to be holding objectives, right? So what we need is a hammer. And what we're going to use for our hammer, is we're going to go back to Slaves of Darkness. And we're going to find our general. Oh, what do you know? He's the first one. So Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. And, wrong one. We're going to do Tzeentch, of course. And he is going to be our general, like we said. And we're going to take, let's see, Lord of War. So let's talk a little bit about our Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. He has a command ability called Knights of Chaos, I think. You select a Chaos Knights unit or a chariot within 15 inches, I think. And they get +1 to hit and reroll charges to your next hero phase. So that's good, right? We're going to use that as part of our hammer here. What Lord of War does is at the beginning of each of your hero phases, you're going to roll a dice. On a 4 up, you can select a unit within 3 inches and give them +1 to hit. So it gives us a way to get our +1 to hit without using a command ability. Or if we really want to go crazy, we can go for the 2 up to hit, right? Most of the time, if you get the Lord of War, you're not going to use that command point because you're going to need it if something really nasty gets into your acolytes to keep them from running away. Sorry, that was a pit bull sigh in the background there. So, about half the time you're not going to have to use that command point. You're going to use your Lord of War ability. All right, so we got him, and obviously he's really there just above our Chaos Knights, right? So let's go ahead and get those guys in here. So where are our Chaos Knights? And we're going to take 10, but we're really only going to take 9. So they're going to get the Fatesworn save. We're going to take Chaos Glaives, and we're going to mark them Tzeentch. So with that buff and the save, these guys start looking pretty good, right? They've got 2 attacks. Now with the buff, they're going to be 3s and 3s, -1 rend all the time, 2 damage on the charge that you can reroll. So we're going to use the Lord and our Chaos Knights as a hammer to go and clear stuff off objectives or take out nasty threats, right? That's what they're going to do here. And that's going to get us to 8 of our 10 units that we need for our Fatesworn, okay? So the last 2 guys are utility heroes, okay? And the first one is going to be the one that Tom kind of spoke about a little bit on Warhammer Weekly. Where are we going? We're going to Tzeentch again, and we're going to get a Faith Master. So the Fate Master is a unit that I've wanted to figure out a way to use since the Tzeentch book came out, because his command ability is just so interesting with the, you can roll a dice and then anytime you hit that number you can re-roll it. But that's not really what we're going to use him here for, but he's just been kind of in my mind because of that ability since the book came out. But what we're going to use him here for is a problem that I know you guys have been having, and that is the problem of a lot of half-naked elven women trying to poke you full of holes, right? So what are we going to do about that? Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our realm. So we're going to be from the realm of fire, and we are going to give Mr. Fate Master the Smoldering Helm. So what the Smoldering Helm does is it kicks back a mortal wound on a 6 up. So let me think. I think it's worded each time you make a successful save of a 6-up in the combat phase, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound after all of their attacks have been made. Which is, that's cool, but Fatemaster, he has a +2 to his save against anything that doesn't fly on his war scroll. So on a 4-up, you're going to be poking holes in elven ladies instead of them poking holes in you, which is pretty good, right? And he is going to be saving on a 2-up against them. Also, there's other ways that you can get him to reroll saves too, so he is pretty good against Daughters of Cain, or really any infantry that doesn't have a rend, right? Also, he's got 16-inch move, so pretty good at grabbing objectives also. So he's a pretty good utility piece. And then for our last, but certainly not least utility hero here, we're going to go back to Slaves of Darkness, and we're going to grab a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on a horsey. Yeah, you have to say horsey. And it's going to be a Zinch, of course. And we're going to give him an artifact just for fun. Let's say, give him a Chaos Talesman so he doesn't get wiped off the board as easily as he might. So really the reason we're taking our Chaos Sorcerer Lord here is for Demonic Power. So Demonic Power is cast on a 5-up, it's a spell. And it gives the unit that you cast it on reroll 1s of hit, wound, and save rolls. So it's one of the most powerful spells in the game, really, in my humble opinion. Also, he has an ability, Oracular Visions, which is not a spell, it's just an ability. Select a unit and give it reroll 1s for save. So you're given 2 units, reroll 1 to save if the spell goes off, right? So that's pretty powerful. There's a couple different ways I like to use this guy. Oh, don't forget our horsey. Okay, so you can leave him with our 36-man unit of acolytes and give them demonic power to help out with the shooting, right? So rerolling 1s of hit and wound there for the 36 shots, and the saves, of course. That's how I use them most of the time, but if I have something really nasty out there on the board that I think I'm going to struggle to remove with just my Chaos Knights and our general here, then I'll run him out with Chaos Knights and cast Demonic Power on them so that they are hitting on 2s if everything goes well, and then re-rolling 1s, right? So just kind of depends on the matchup you're in. And now that's it. That's what we're at 10 units. We're at 2,000 points, 150 wounds. And this is our 1-drop Fatesworn Battalion, right? And we don't get Destiny dice, but we don't need those, do we? We got the Fatemaster. So the one thing I was talking about kind of earlier is if you don't want to run the 2 Curselings, then run 2 Sorcerer Lords. So you can leave 1 back with your 36 block and run 1 out with the Knights, right? So you obviously can't cast Demonic Power on both units in the same turn, but you can use Oracular Visions, and you can pick where you want to put that Demonic Power. Obviously you can do whatever you want with those 160 points, but that's kind of my go-to thing is switching those 2 out. Usually I think the Curseling gives you a little bit more utility with all the spells that are going around, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So as far as matchups and weaknesses and strengths and all that, I mean, it's a pretty defensive army. You get your guys that are stacked with all the saves on the objectives. The shooting can do some work. Use your knights to go and take care of whatever the threats you see out there. Stuff that does a lot of damage, like you never see them, but Beastclaw Raiders doing 3 damage or whatever, that they can get rid of your acolytes faster than you think, even with all your saves. So don't don't let those guys get into you without, roughing them up a little bit first. But against Death and Daughters of Cain and that kind of thing, I think it gives you a pretty good chance. So there it is. There's our list. Like I said, this was kind of a test video. I'm figuring out how to record. Hopefully all the dog sighing and drooling and trains weren't too much of a distraction. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to do this more efficiently and better quality probably as I make more videos. But hopefully this was a fun video, and thanks for watching.